So hello everyone, my name is Bilal and I welcome you all in our course that is building planning and drawing using the AutoCAD. So I hope all of you are doing well and you have seen all the previous videos and you will understand all the things. Okay. So what we have discussed in the last class, in the last video, so we have discussed about the AutoCAD software. We have seen the different tools of the AutoCAD software. We have seen the basic idea of the AutoCAD software, correct? So we have seen the basic geometric tools also. We have seen the modified tools also, or modification or edit tools also we have seen. Okay, how to use that one and what are the procedure of using that tools. And we have seen the testing tools also, correct? So we have seen the basics tools and whichever is required for our particular building planning process. Okay, so from this class onwards or from this video onwards we are going to discuss about the building planning. Okay, so in details we are taking some examples. Okay, we are understand that one. We are taking the different category of the buildings also. Okay, what we have already discussed in the you have seen in the last classes. So different category of the or different types of the buildings are there. Residentials are there, commercials are there, hospital buildings are there, hostel, different buildings are there. So we have seen that one by one. We are taking the examples also, okay, of different plans, and we'll see that one how to do the planning and what are the requirements of the particular buildings. And we have seen that one. We're going to see how to do the elevations, how to do the sections, what are the importance of elevation and the section. Everything we are going to see how to draw that one, the procedure of drawing, the planning, the elevation and the section. Everything we are going to see in this class or in the coming classes. Okay, so let's begin with the residential buildings. Okay, so residential buildings are important aspects of the construction industries. Okay, so this is the oldest type of the building which is used as a resident, which in the olden days the residents are used for the livelihoods purposes. Okay, so in if you go in the history, if you see that one, in the very olden days the people are used to live in the caves, correct? So that is also one type of a structure where people are going to live that one. Then how the technologies will be done, how the mankind will be developed, how the engineering have developed, the types of the construction also developed, the materials also developed, correct? The methods of also developed, the equipments is also developed. So like that only the materials also change. The whatever the olden materials what we have using, the stones and all, nowadays that type of stones are not available, correct? That we are not using for the construction purpose. The materials also will be changed, the procedures, everything, methods, everything will change by up to days, correct, by how the technology has developed. Okay, so we are going to take the residential building first. Okay, after that we'll see some examples of the residential buildings, how to draw that one, and then we can see with the other things. Okay, so we are divided. So what is residential? Just begin with the what is residential building. A building should be regarded as a residential building when more than half of the floor area is used for the dwelling purposes. Okay, so what is residential buildings? So residential building is a building which is used for the living purpose. That type of buildings we are called as residential buildings. And normally nowadays everywhere you can see this one, the most of the construction work, the most of the type of the structure you can see in your surrounding, that is the residential buildings, correct? So most of the, so there is a huge demand for the residential buildings, we can say that one. Okay, that is the only the construction industry will start from there only, correct? If you go in the history, from residential building, for that purpose only we have started the construction, we have started the civil engineering, and after that later on whatever the problems will be arrived, according to that we have developed the things. Okay, so we can categorize or we can divide the residential buildings into three categories. Okay, so what is that three categories? The first category we can categorize as a living area, the second category we can categorize, we can divide it as a service area, and next one is the sleeping area. Okay, so in these categories or in this type we can divide it in the, we divided the residential buildings. Okay, so these three components of the plan of the building should be there in any residential buildings. That depends upon the type of the structure or the size of the structure also, we can see this one, and the economical conditions of the clients which we are going to construct the particular buildings. Okay, so the procedures also I have told you in the earlier, how the construction work will be gone. So the whatever the client will be there, whatever the owner of the land will be there, owner of the plot will be there, that he will go to the architect or he will go to the engineer regarding the construction of the buildings, and he will explain his requirements, and according to his requirement and according to his economical condition, according to his budget, the architect or the engineer going to do the plans. Okay, so but anyhow these three categories should be there. The living area should be there, the service area should be there, and the sleeping area should be there. Rather than that, okay, rather than this, you can go for the higher or some extra rooms or some extra components also, you can add that one. But these are the basics components which should be there in any residential buildings. So what is living area, or what are the things will comes under the living areas? Okay, so living area includes the entrance foyer, okay, or we can say it's a veranda, and the drawing room and the dining room. Sometimes veranda and the living room will be there. That is depends upon the size of the structure. Okay. So what is the purpose of the living area? The purpose of the living area is to spend the time with the family members, to spend the time with the friends and friends, correct, or to receiving the guests also, or to watching the TV, or to the listening to the radio also, we are using the living areas, or to playing the indoor games also we can using the living areas. Okay, that in the detail we just see that one in the next. Okay, so that is the living area. What is the service areas? Service areas we can say that was which includes the kitchen area, which includes the store area, which includes the staircase area, bathrooms area, water closet area, and the garage area. So that is the service areas. Okay, so in every residential building we require the kitchens, we require the bathrooms, we require the water closet. Okay, these all things will be required. Okay, next one is the sleeping area. So what is sleeping area? Obviously the bedroom areas and bathroom area which is attached to the bathroom, that is also comes under the sleeping area, or the guest room areas. So these are the sleeping area. Like that we are divided the categories into the this one. Okay, so always you just remember while doing the residential building plan, you just remember, so you can see this one in the screen. So there is a different components of the residential buildings are there. So depending upon the requirement of the client, depending upon the budget of the client, and depending upon the size of the area, okay, size, whatever the size of the area will be there, like plot will be there, depending upon that one we are going to plan this one. Okay, so most of the cases, the first thing we can consider in our mind before starting the planning, okay, that is the budget or the economical condition of the client. Okay, according to that, whatever the room is required, whatever the basic necessary rooms are required, that only we are going to provide. That is living area, kitchen area, bathrooms area, and the sleeping area, that is bedroom area. Okay, if the client is having or having more budget, or we can consider if the middle income group persons are there, so we can go for the extra rooms also, or higher income groups will come, we can go for the some extra rooms also, or we can go with the higher rooms or different rooms category of the rooms also. Okay, so but so rather than that, so I just tell you what are the components are included in the residential buildings. So first one is drawing room or living room, next one is dining room. Okay, so next one is kitchen room, next one is storeroom. Storeroom is also included. Okay, bedrooms. Okay, so bathroom and water closet should be there. Puja rooms. What is mean by puja room? Puja room in the sense puja room or the prayer rooms. So if you can consider the Indian families, most of the cases Indian families, they are prefer the puja room or the prayer rooms. Okay, so next one is the veranda or the balcony which is required. Okay, next one is study room, that is depends upon the requirements of the clients. Next one is the children's rooms. Okay, in the Western cultures and all, you can see this one, they will provide the separate children rooms. I just select the pen or laser pointer. Okay, so children's rooms in Western cultures and all, they will prefer the children's room, that will be most of the cases near to the kitchen room or near to the bedrooms. Okay, they will prefer that one. Next one is the guest room. The separate guest room will be provided. If the space is available, we can provide the separate guest room also. That depends upon the requirement of the clients. Next one is comfort room. That is also depends upon the client, depends upon the budget, and depends upon the space we can provide that rooms. Next one is office room. Some cases in some residential buildings, office room will be attached to the residential rooms, like a residential building also, or inside the residential building also, office rooms for the working purpose and all. Okay, next one is stairs. For staircases required, to go to the or to move to the next floors, we require the staircases. Or if to entry in the foyers and all, we require the stairs. Next one, entry for the entry and exits, we require the stairs. Next one is garage room for the parking purpose, parking of the two vehicles, or two wheelers, or parking of the four wheelers, we require the garage room. And for the storage of the whatever the equipments are there, we can use as a garage. Next, other rooms. So what is mean by other rooms here? So other rooms in the sense like pantry rooms, dressing rooms, hobby rooms, ladies rooms. That depends upon the requirement of the clients. We can provide that one. So these are the basic components or basics rooms which is there in the residential buildings. Okay, while doing or while planning the residential building, you just keep in your mind. So these are the components should be there in the particular buildings. Okay, you can't miss this one while doing the residential plannings. Okay, so we'll see one by one all these things. What is the minimum dimensions of the particular rooms, what is the minimum areas, what are the purpose of these particular rooms. Okay, so let's begin with the drawing room or the living rooms. So what is drawing room, or what is the living room, or what is the purpose of living room, or why it is required the living rooms? So in any residential building you can take, we require the drawing or living room. The main purpose of a living or room or drawing room is to receiving the guest, okay, or to meeting the family members, or for the friends. Okay, so as a meeting place also we can consider, to listening to the radio or watching tvs, playing indoor games, etc. For small family functions also we can consider the living room. Okay, and for studying purpose for children's also we are considering the living rooms. Correct. As a bedroom, if extra guests stay in the home, we can consider as a living room also. Okay, so for all that purpose we require the living rooms. Okay, so what is the minimum dimensions of the room? Okay, what is the minimum width of the room, what is the minimum dimensions? So why it is minimum dimensions required? What is the components, what is the furniture components we are going to set in the living room? We are going to set in the living room in normally in Indian typical homes. So we are considering the 3-seat sofas in the living room. We are putting the TV units in the living room, and one small teepee we can use the in the living rooms. So for this particular furniture to be set in the living room, that much space is required for the living rooms. Okay, so normally, so here you can see this one. So the normally the width of the living room we can consider as, okay, on the basis of on the depending upon the IS course also, and as per the practice, engineering practice also, we can consider the normally the width of the living room to set all the thing is, that is 3 meter. Okay, the 3 meter, and the length is the minimum length for the for furniture everything we can consider as a 4 meter. Okay, so this is the dimensions of a living room, that is 3 meter by 4 meter, or the minimum area is of 12 square meter. Okay, 12 square meter. So this is the minimum area we should be keep in the living room, so which will be where we can easily set all the furnitures, and the circulation area should be also minimum. Okay, you just keep in mind while doing the living room, so the circulation area should be minimum, so that the all the furniture should be set in the proper way. And whatever the main doors will be there, the main door will be attached to the living room only, or most of the cases, or most of the plannings are the size of the main door also is 1 meter by 2 meter, that is the minimum width. And whichever other doors are attached to the living room or the drawing room, that is 0.9 meter by 2 meters. Okay, and rather than that, the size of the windows, which we need to provide in the living room is, that you just keep in your mind, that is 10 to 20% of the floor area, that is 10 to 20% of the floor area. Okay, so for the better circulation of the air, and better circulation of the light. Okay, so for that purpose we are providing the 10 to 20% of the floor area, the size of the windows. Okay, that is the minimum percentage what I'm saying. You can go for the higher one also, not less than that. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the providing the living room. Okay, so next we will go with the next room, that is the dining room. Okay, so what is the purpose of dining room, or why the dining room is used? So the place where the family members or the guests are going to do their breakfast, lunch and the dinners. Okay, for that purpose only we are using the dining rooms. And most of the cases in the dining room very less time will be spent. Okay, so for that purpose we are not going to give a large size of the dining room, because we can whatever the size of the dining table will be there, according to that we can give the dining room also. Okay, so normally the size of the dining table, it depends upon the 4 to 6 person for the medium kind of family, and if it is a large family then we can go up to the 12 persons, not more than that. Okay, so the whatever the type of furniture which we are going to use in the living room is dining room is, that is the dining tables. Okay, and we can consider as a breakfast tables also. We can use sometimes in the breakfast table also in the dining rooms. Okay, the dining room should have a minimum width of 3 meter. The size of the dining area should be minimum width of 3 meters, and the minimum area what we need to consider, that is 12 square meters. While always you just remember, while doing the planning of the dining room, the width of the dining room should be minimum, you just kept 3 meters, so that the whatever the dining table we are going to set there, it will be easily set over there, and there should be a circulation area also for the moving of the peoples, or for the moving of the any equipments or any other instruments or objects. For that purpose we can consider as a 3 meter as a minimum width of the dining table, and total area should be minimum of 12 square meter. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the dining room. So next one is most important part of the building, not building, most important part of the residential building. Correct. So most important part of the residential building, where the ladies of the room ladies of the residence, most of the time they will spend here only, that is the kitchen. Okay, so that is the kitchen. So as a vastu point of view also, as a as per the consideration of the vastu compliance, the kitchen is also a very important part. Okay, so according to the kitchen only we can consider all the other components. So how we are planning here, so before starting the any building plan, so first we locate the kitchen. So that is how we are planning. So that is depends upon the architects to architects, planners to planner, engineers to engineers. But how we are planning, we first locate the kitchen. Once we locate the perfect area of the kitchen, then we go to the other components of the buildings. Okay, so why? Because as per the vastu compliance and as per the scientific point of view also, the kitchen is the most important part of the building, where we are going to use most of the time. The ladies, most of the cases ladies are going to spend most of the time over there, and most of the important things will be going, like we are going to cook over there, and all the things we are going to do that one. So that is the very important part of the buildings. Okay, so the minimum size of the kitchen is we need to keep, that is 1.8 meter by 2.5 meters. Okay, so the furnitures, whatever the furnitures are there or included in the kitchen room, that is kitchen top, where we are going to kept our stove, and where we are sink will be there. Correct, kitchen top. And rather than that, if you are nowadays the modular kitchens are there, where the lower cabinets will be there, upper cabinets will be there, kitchen top will be there. And some cases, you just remember that one, in the kitchen, while planning of the kitchen, we need to consider the cross ventilations also. Always you just remember, while doing the kitchen planning we require the cross ventilations. Okay, because while doing the cookings and all, most of the carbon dioxide will become, and again there is a issue of the health also. So that purpose we require the cross ventilation in the kitchen while planning, or while planning that one we just keep in our mind. Okay, next one is the position of the stove. Okay, where the most of ventilation will be there, in that in that particular direction only we are going to provide our stove over there. Okay, next, position of the sink, so which is easy for the washing of the utensils, vegetables, and whatever the food items will be there. For washing purpose also we are considering the sink, so that position of the sink also we need to consider. Next, position of the refrigerators, that depends upon the requirement of the clients, but you just keep in your mind while planning that one: position, or position of the stove, position of the sink, and position of the refrigerator. These should be there. Okay, always you just remember while doing the planning of the any kitchen. So, and again, the if the modular kitchens will be there, we are providing the lower cabinets, we are providing the upper cabinets for the storage purpose, for storage of utensils, storage of the food items, and storage of the cooking items, all that things, correct. And sometimes we are providing the breakfast tables also inside the kitchens only. Okay, and always you just remember while doing the while after the planning of the kitchen, above the top of the above the top we need to provide glazing, or we need to provide glazed tiles over there of minimum height of 1 meter, so that to avoid the greasing or smoke of the particular area. Okay, so always you just remember, so above the top of the platform we need to provide 1 meter height glazed tiles, so that the wall should not be dirt, and it will be easy to cleaning also, or easy to maintenance also. For that purpose we are providing the kitchen we are providing the tiles. So the ideal location of kitchen is next to the dining rooms. Most of the cases we are providing ideal location only there only. Okay, so that easily we can serve the foods. Okay, so, and always you just remember it should be having a good ventilations also while designing the, or while planning the kitchen. Okay, so the minimum size also we have discussed, and the with the minimum height also we can consider as 2.1 meters for the kitchen rooms, not less than that, because for the good ventilations. Okay, so next we move to the next components, or we move to the next component of the building, that is the storerooms. What is the purpose of the storeroom? Provision. The purpose of the storeroom is to provide, or to store, okay, to store the goods, to store the whatever the items will be there, like rice, any food grains, or any wheats and all, we can store over there, correct. And to store any occasionally used articles like raincoats, umbrellas, rugs, playing equipment, suitcase, etc. For that purpose, for the storing purpose, we are using the storerooms. Most of the building planning, we need to provide the storerooms at the near to the kitchen rooms, or near to the living rooms we require, or we need to provide the storerooms. And we should not going to waste our space. The storeroom should be designed like that. The space should be minimally used, and the purpose will be more. Okay, so the minimum width of the storeroom should be 1.8 meter. Okay, and the storage shelf should be start about 250 mm above the floor level, so that while cleaning the floors, shelf do not catch the damages. Okay, so most of the cases in the storage rooms, what happened, we have doing the different shelf for the storage of the different objects, correct, or different items. So for according to that one we are planned that. Okay, and the storeroom should not have like huge windows and all. It should have a small ventilator, so that any other insects should not come inside the storerooms, because most of the cases in the storerooms we are storing the food items also, food grains also, so that it should not be come inside, and what insects and all should not be come inside. Okay, and the door also should be tightened, and it should be watertight and the damp proof tight. Okay, so that is how we need to plan the storerooms. So these all are not a big deal, you can easily do that one, but in the starting you just need to remember in your mind, you just need to keep in your mind that these are the things which should be keep in your mind, and these are the minimum dimensions which should be keep in our mind. Clear? So most of the cases, storeroom should be provided near to the kitchen room also, because it should be easy for to take the grains and all, and easily we can move from one place to another place. Okay, next one is our sleeping area. That is the bedroom area. Okay, so most of the cases the person spend like 35 to 40% of their time in the bedroom only. Okay, in the bedroom only, for the sleeping purpose or for the relaxing purpose, and for different we can using the bedrooms. Most of the cases for the sleeping and relaxing purpose, we are using the bedrooms. The minimum width of a bedroom should be at least 2.7 meter. Okay, the minimum width of the bedroom should be at least 2.7 meter. Why it is 2.7 meter? Because the furniture in the bedroom should be keep in proper. What type of, what all our furniture should be there in the wardrobe, sorry, in the bedroom? The first one is the bed. Okay, that depends upon the requirement of the clients. If it is a single room, we can provide a single bed. If it is a coupled or family members are there, so like depends upon the family members, and depends upon the size of the bed, size of the room, we are providing the beds. So there is a king size bed also is there, and queen size beds is also there, and single beds are there, double beds are, depend on different types of beds are there. So depending upon the size of the room, we are providing that one, and depending upon the number of persons which we are going to live over there, according to that we are providing the beds. Most of the cases, if the width of the wall, if the width of the wall more than 3 meter, we are providing the king size bed, and if the width of the wall is less than 3 meter, we are providing the queen size bed. You just keep in the king size and the queen size beds are the standard size of the beds which is available in the market, so you can easily plan that one. Okay, so other furnitures in the bedrooms like wardrobes, the dressing tables, the study tables, sometimes the after rather than study tables, we are providing the two-seater sofas for the relaxing purpose, or massage chairs also we can provide that one, or tea table also we can provide over there. Okay, that depends upon the requirements of the clients, we can provide over there, and depends upon the size of the rooms also, we are providing the furnitures. Okay, if this room size is very small, then only the bed and the wardrobe, these are the two necessary things which is required. So bed and wardrobe only we are going to put over there. Okay, if the size of the room is very large, then depends upon that one requirement of the client, we are providing the bed, we are providing the side tables, we are providing the wardrobes, we are providing the dressing table, we are providing the massage chairs, we are providing the tea tables, we are providing the study tables, we are providing the TV units also in the bedrooms. Most of the cases you have seen that one, TV units also we are providing in the bedrooms. Okay, so while designing the bedrooms, you just keep all these things in your mind. Okay, and the bedrooms, most of the cases while planning, while providing doors and bedrooms to the doors and windows to the particular bedrooms, the windows should be minimum. Most of the cases we are providing a single window. Okay, only a single window should be provided for the bedrooms. Why we are providing the single window? Because the privacy purpose. So always you just remember, while planning the living room, we require the good ventilation, we require the good lights. Okay, because most of the people will surround over there, so most good light and good ventilation is the main purpose. And while good light is the main purpose while providing the living area, when you go to the kitchen, while planning the kitchen, good ventilation is the main purpose. Correct, because we are cooking over there, we are having the different gases over there. Correct, good ventilation is the main purpose. And while designing the bedroom, the privacy is the main purpose. Always you just keep in mind the positions of the window and the position of the door, it should be well maintained in the particular in good direction, so that the privacy should be maintained properly. Okay, these are the important thoughts while planning the bedrooms. Okay, so for that purpose we are providing a single window for that one in the bedroom, and the door positions also we are providing in the side of the beds, okay, so that it will be easily we can see those who are coming, or whether the door is closed or not, or if anyone is coming there or not. We can easily see that one from the bed only. We can easily see the door and we can easily see the windows, okay. It should not be behind the bed. If you provide the behind the bed, if you provide the door behind the bed, if you provide the window behind the bed, then always it should be there in our minds whether the door is closed or not, whether the window is closed or not, or any privacy issues will come over there, okay. So that purpose we should provide in the proper direction. We require the doors and windows we need to provide. At the same time, it should having a good ventilations also, it should have a good light also, okay. It should have a good light also. So these things you just keep in your mind while planning the bedrooms, okay. So privacy is important while planning the bedroom. Next we come to the bathrooms, correct. So what is the purpose of bathrooms? So obviously all of you know that one, the purpose of the bathrooms. I don't want to explain you that what is the purpose of the bathroom. So the minimum size of the bathroom, okay. So what is the minimum size? So here, as per the standards, it is mentioned that minimum size of the bathroom we should keep, that is 1.2 meter by 1.5 meters, okay, not less than this, okay. And the minimum size of the water closet, that is WC, is 0.9 meter by 1.2 meters, okay. So these dimensions you just keep in your mind while planning the bathrooms and the water closets, okay. And again, in the bathrooms we are not providing the windows, we are providing the ventilators, okay, because very less time we are spent in the bathroom, so we are providing the small ventilator, so whatever the smells over there will be exhausted outside, okay. And next, the components which is used in the bathrooms, that is like water showers, okay, or we can say that one water mixtures, okay, the sink and the WC. So sometimes the WC will be separate and the water closet will be separate and the bathroom will be separate. In some cases, water closet and the bathroom both will be in the single bathroom only. So in that cases, commodes and the sink, not in the sink, basin, commode and the shower points will be there in the single bathroom only. And nowadays that depends upon the size of the bathroom. So if the size of the bathroom is more, then we can go with the double basins also. We can go with the bathtubs also. We can go with the different area of the, like we can go with the luxury. In some luxury bathrooms, the wet area will be different and the dry area will be different. Where we are going to take the shower, that will consider as a wet area, and remaining area we can consider as a dry area. So in some cases, if in some nowadays, most of the, in some cases, the changing room is also providing in the bathrooms only, or the dressing rooms, we can say that one, we are providing in the bathrooms only. So that depends upon the requirement of the clients, as I told you, requirements of the client and size of the particular bathroom, and depends upon the budget also, okay. So depending upon all these conditions, we need to plan that one, okay. So if the budget, if the client having no budget and you will do all that luxury things, or you are providing all that luxury thing in the bathrooms and all, in the bedrooms and all, in the living room, kitchen room and all, and at the end what happened? There is a no use of doing this plan. So we need to understand the requirement of the particular client. Always we need to understand the requirement of the client, what the client is required, what is the budget of the client, and according to that we need to plan, okay. So we can slightly push their budget, there is no issue, but we need to understand, or we need to understand that one. So as an engineer, as a planner, as an architect, we need to understand these things. Psychology of the client we need to understand, because this is a long process, and once the construction will started, it will take years, months ago, it will take months, it will take years to complete the whole project, correct. Within a days we can complete that one, we require a lot of months, we require a lot of years also in some cases. So it's a huge, and the budget is also be huge. It is not a single, it is not a small amount we are going to invest in the house. We are investing most of the amount, correct. So for all that purpose, we need to think that one. We need to think in all the way. We need to understand everything, and then we are going to start with that one. Okay, and the planning is the first step. Planning is the first step of the construction. Okay, so in the planning, whatever the number of revision will be there, we can do that one. There is no issue. Once the plan will be finalized, once the construction will started, then there is no changes. There should not be changes in the plans. Once the working plans will be done, that should not be, you just keep in your mind that there should be a very less changes in the plans. Well, if again, if you will change that one after the working plans, also after the starting of the construction, also if you change the plan, then again it will be goes the high cost. Okay, so again it will be wastage of the materials, wastage of the time, wastage of the money, wastage of the labor cost, everything will be goes. So just keep in your mind all these things. So next one is puja room and the prayer rooms. So that is also depends upon the requirement of the client only. We are going to design, or we are going to add this component in our plan. If it is required, then only we can going to add. If it is not required, we are not. In Western culture also, most of the cases we are not using the prayer rooms, but in Indian culture, most of the cases we are using the puja room or the prayer rooms, and that depends upon the requirements of the clients. Okay, and in the direction of the puja room, most of the cases in any religion or in our as a scientific point of view, you can say that one, most of the cases the position of the puja room or the prayer room we need to consider as northeast corner. Okay, whether in the northeast or in the east direction or in the north direction. Okay, this is the ideal location of the puja room. So if anyone will be asked to do the puja room, then you can do in these particular directions. Okay, and the size of the room should be at least, or the minimum size should we need to provide 1.5 meter by 2 meter. Okay. Next one is veranda. So what is the veranda? Veranda is the open area which is which is covered with the roof, but which is not which is only covered with the roof, not with the walls. Okay, it may be an open area that is with restricted entry or with a grill doors and with a steel grill and above the sea levels. Okay, so here you can see this one in the picture. There is a veranda over there with a half wall. Here you can see this one, and it will be covered with the roof, and it will be covered with the half wall only. In some time they will provide the railings, sometimes they will provide the grills over here. Okay, and the minimum height of the height of 2.1 meter, and the minimum width is 2 meter to be provided for the veranda. So what is the minimum height from the floor to this roof? From the floor to this roof, the minimum height we need to provide, that is 2.1 meter, and the minimum width of the veranda, this one, the minimum width of the veranda we need to provide 2 meters. Again, that depends upon the size of the site also. Okay, so location also. Sometimes what happen, we don't have a space to provide the verandas, so in that cases we are providing very less, 1 meter veranda also we are providing. Okay, and sometimes directly we give the entries also. That depends. That is not a good planning. Without veranda, if you go with the this one, we need to provide, but in some cases these things will be happen, so in that cases we can go without the veranda also. So next one is study rooms. So these are the extra rooms which depends upon the requirements of the clients only, we are going to provide that one. Otherwise, most of the cases in the living area only we can consider as a study room, or in sometime cases in the dining table, sorry, not dining table, in the dining area only we are considering the study rooms. Okay, if the budget of the, or if the requirement is very high of the client, then we can provide a separate study room, but it is not necessary to provide a separate study room. Okay, so what is study room? Children's going to high schools and colleges need to separate room to study. It may be used as a bedroom for them also. Okay, that also we can consider at that one. The minimum size of the study room is 3 meter by 3.6 meters. Okay, 3 meter by 3.6 meters. That depends upon the things. One more thing, what happened once while doing the luxury villas, or while doing the luxury planning and all, in that cases we need to provide a study room, because most of the cases if you're having a huge family, the big family will be there. In that cases they will the most of the people likely to have the own library in their house, correct? Most of the cases they want library in their house. In that cases we are providing the separate study room for them also. Okay, so most all depends upon the requirements of the clients. So next one is the children's rooms. Okay, so as I told you, it is not advisable for the uh, Indian residential buildings, and here we're not providing the separate children's rooms. But most of the cases nowadays, what we have observed nowadays, what I have also observed, that the separate children's room will be provided. That is the kids room, we can say that one. Okay, but in Western cultures, most of the cases I have seen that one, the children's room will be separate. Okay, and that children's room should be near to the kitchen room or near to the parents room. Okay, or near to the parents room. Okay, so that parents can observe their children easily. Okay, so next, in the some apartments and all, you can see this one. Most of in some apartments now, whatever the good builders are there in that residential projects or in residential apartments, or they are providing they are providing 2.5 bedrooms, they are providing 1.5 bedrooms, 3.5 bedrooms, 4.5 bedrooms. What is mean by that 1.5? One bedroom is single bedroom, 0.5 is the children's room, that we can consider as children's room, 0.5 bedroom. If it is mean, if you see this one anywhere, it is 2.5 bhk, that means that 2.5 bedrooms, 2.5 bedrooms are there, like two are the bedrooms which is fully utilized as a bedrooms, and 0.5 is the children's rooms, like that it will be. Okay, next one is guest room. Guest room is required for accommodating the occasionally guests. Okay, it may be provided access from the veranda or from the living rooms. Okay, so while planning the guest rooms also, the position of the guest room is important. How the guest room should be positioned near to the living room, where the guest will enter to the house and he go to his particular guest rooms, and from there only he can go, or it will be near to the veranda also. Okay, so guest room will be near to the living room or near to the veranda also. The position will be keep over there. If the requirement of the client will be there for the guest room, that we need to consider, it will be near to the living room or near to the veranda. And always you just remember, guest room should have a attached bathroom, it should be better. While planning that one, if we going for the planning of the guest room, it should have a attached bathroom, a small size also, that there is no issue, only a single bathroom also we can provide that one, but it should be better to provide a bathroom in the guest rooms. Okay, and whatever the minimum dimensions of the guest room is required as per the bedrooms only. Okay, and the best room is like a very less used rooms, so you can go with the minimum area also. So next one is sick room or comfort rooms. Okay, what is mean by comfort rooms here? See, most of the cases the comfort room is provided for the aged persons, or any infirm dependents are there in the family. For them purpose, we are providing the comfort rooms. So in the comfort rooms, most of the cases it should be in the ground floor. Okay, if the flats will be there in the ground floor or in the first floor, we are providing the comfort rooms, not in the higher rooms. The minimum size of the comfort room is 3 meter by 3.6 meters. Okay, for that purpose we are providing the comfort rooms, and it will have a all the first aid medical things also in the comfort rooms. So next one is office room. Okay, while designing the while designing the comfort rooms, you just keep in mind it should be okay. I just come back, I will just tell you one more thing about the comfort room. I just remember, so what is comfort room should be near to the kitchen room. Okay, so this thing you just keep in your mind while positioning of the rooms. This is important, what we are going here, right? So that is the important, where we need to locate that one, correct? As we discussed the like a guest room, that will be near to the living room or near to the veranda. How we have discussed the children's room, that will be near to the kitchen room or to the parents room, correct? The position of the rooms are very important. So if you're not, if you, most of the cases the designer will get fail here only. They will do the very good plans, they will do this, everything will be perfect, they will do everything, they will use all the spaces, but the position of the roomings is not correct. So if you will not provide the positioning of the rooms properly, then what happened, the circulation area will be maximized, the circulation area getting more. If the circulation area get more, then again there is a wastage of the areas, correct? So always you just remember the position of the rooms are important. So if you go for the comfort room, if any client will tell you to draw, I need one sick room or I need one comfort room, where we need to provide that comfort room? That comfort room should be provided in the ground floor only, or maximum we can go for the first floor only, and that should be near to the kitchen room. That should be the good position of the comfort room. Okay, so these things will should be keep in your mind while planning the any residential buildings or in that particular components. Okay, so next one, office room. Yeah, the working professionals are there, those who are a consulting engineers like us. What do you say? So those who are consulting engineers, they require the office room in their homes only. Those who are lawyers, those who are chartered accountants, astrologers, teachers, conducting tuitions classes need office room in their residence. Correct? Those who are working from home, they also required nowadays most of the people are doing work from homes only. Correct? So they also required a office room in the particular residence only. Okay, again, the position of the room, where we need to provide that one. So the position of the room or the room should be near to the veranda and disconnected from the other parts of the buildings. Clear? So it should be near to the veranda. So if any guests will come or any clients will come or any tuition for students will come for the tuitions or anyone will come, so directly they will come to the office room, they will do their work, they will complete or work and they will go from there on. So always the position of the office room is near to the veranda. Okay, and it should not be connected with the most of the cases it should not be connected with the other components of the building plannings. Okay, other components of the buildings. Okay, but most some cases that depends upon the requirement of the client, they will provide one extra door from the inside only to connect with the uh, other components of the buildings from a living room or bedroom and all. But you just keep in your mind that depends upon the requirement of the client. But most of the cases, as a planner, as an engineer, we are not going to give any extra entrance or any extra connectivity to the other part of the buildings. Okay, so next, the size of the room required depends upon the professional and the number of clients accepted, obviously. So that depends upon that one, we can provide that one. Okay, or we can go with the minimum dimensions of width 3 meter and length depends upon the requirement of the clients. So once you get the position where we need to provide, then whatever the minimum dimensions will be there, that you can provide that one. Okay, and if the minimum dimensions is not sufficient to the client, you can discuss with the client and you can increase the size. Next one is staircase. Okay, this is also a very important part of the building. Correct, all buildings are required the staircase, all buildings are want the steps. Correct, in residential buildings staircase are provided to go from one floor to the another floor. A stairs is a series of steps, the space or a rooms housing from the staircase. Okay, called staircase. Okay, so staircase are there is a there is a different types of staircase are there. There is a dog-leg staircase are there, circular staircase are there, straight staircase are there, L-shaped staircase are there. So there are different types of staircase are there. But most of the cases in residential building we are using the dog-leg staircase. Why we are using the dog-leg staircase? Because it occupies the very less area. So for that purpose we are using the dog-leg staircase. And one more thing, the staircase we are providing the internal staircase also and the external staircase also, that it depend upon the type of the building. Okay, and the depends upon the requirement of the building, we are providing the internal staircase or we are providing the external staircase. So some cases what happen, the area will be smaller, the site area, whatever the site area will be smaller. So what happened, the requirement of the client should be more. The area is smaller, the requirements is more. Then what we can do, we'll go with the upper floors, correct? Whatever the things we are going to set in the ground floor, we just set that one, then we can go for the upper floors. So in that cases, we are providing the internal staircases. In some cases, we are providing the lifts also, in the bullet lifts also, we can say that one, inside the particular residence. Okay, and always you just remember, whatever the site area will be there, from that site area, whatever the bylaws will be considered for that particular area, that bylaws also we need to consider. We need to understand the bylaws, we need to understand what are the minimum setbacks, we need to leave from the boundaries, and then we can go with the planning. Okay, so directly we can't go with the planning. Whole area on whole site, we can't use that one. 100% site, we can't use that one. 100% coverage, we can't do that one. So we need to understand the bylaws of the particular areas. So once we understand the bylaws of the particulars, once we understand what are the minimum setbacks we need to leave, after that one, we can start doing the plans. Okay, if it not requirements is not going to set in this particular plan, then we can go for the higher stories. Okay, the minimum width of the stairs for the residential building is, that is 900 mm or 0.9 meters. Okay, you can go for the higher one also. So next one is the garage. Okay, so garage is also an important part of the residential building. Nowadays, whatever the residential buildings you are going to do or you are going to plan, most of the cases the client requirement will be there for the garage. And if you go in the western side of the, or western countries and all, most of the bungalows or most of the villas or most of the residential buildings having the closed garages. So here in India's open garages will be there, or we can say it as carports, and closed garage will be there. Okay, so if you're having the closed garage, then it will be benefit to the clients. So the whatever the equipments will be there, whatever the vehicles will be there, that will be safe also. Okay, and it will be free from the dust also. So the minimum size. So what is the minimum size of the garage? So if it is a two-wheeler garage, the minimum size is the minimum area required is one, or minimum dimension is 1 meter by 1.5 meter, and for the cars it is 3 meter by 6 meter. So always you just remember, the dimensions of the garage should be, minimum should be this much. You can't miss the dimension, or you can't go less than these dimensions for the car and all. If you go less than these dimensions, the whole carport will be going to fail, or whole garage going to fail. Okay, so always while planning that one, the size is important. While planning the garage, the size is important. Okay, again, the flooring we require, we are going to provide a hard flooring over there, so that the vehicle, whatever the load of the vehicle will be there, it will be taken by the particular floors. Okay, so and we will should provide at least one window for the particular garage. And the height, roof height, the minimum roof height of the garage is 2.4 meter. Okay, not less than this. And most of the cases, we are preferring the rolling shutters to close the garage. If you provide the rolling shutter, the openable areas will be less. Okay, because the width is more, right? 3 meter. If you provide a 3 meter gate, then again it will take that much area also. So preferably we are using the rolling shutters for the garage. Not preferably, most of the cases we are using this one. In some cases they are using the gates also, but as a designer or as a planner, as an engineer or as an architect, we are going with the rolling shutter. That is the standard ones. Okay, always you just remember, while doing the garage, we required, or we need to keep the dimensions in our mind. Next, we considering the other rooms. So there is a different rooms are there. That is depends upon the requirement of the clients. That is depends upon the size of the budget of the client, correct? And that is depends upon the type of the building also. So in the buildings also, small size buildings are there, middle class buildings are there, luxurious buildings are there, luxurious villas are there, residential bungalows are there, correct? Residential complexes are there. So depends upon the amenities, depends upon the requirements, we are going to do all these things. Okay, this is not necessary to do, it is not 100% necessary to do these all things or to provide all these things, but it is the part of the particular residential buildings. You can go with this one also, or you can say that one most of the you can suggest to your clients all these things. Okay, you can suggest that one. We can provide the pantry for them, we can provide the separate dressing room, so this will be the benefits. Obviously for all the rooms we have a different benefits. Okay, we have a different advantages, or we have some disadvantage also, but most of the cases the purpose of that particular rooms are depends upon the client to clients. Okay, that is, there will be a more providing the rooms and all, that will be a good purposes, but depends upon the client, depends upon the budget of the client, we are going to provide that. So what are the other rooms we can consider or we can see in most of the cases? That is the pantry. What is mean by pantry? A small room in which prepared food is kept or for servants. Okay, so that is the pantry. Next one is dressing room. A separate dressing room will be provided for the dressing purposes. Okay, most of the cases nowadays you can see this one, walk-in wardrobes also we can see, that is also we can consider as a dressing rooms. A separate walk-in wardrobes will be provided where you can go inside the rooms and you can having a huge wardrobe, and in that only the dressing room will be there. Okay, next one is hobby room. What is mean by hobby room? For gym, for yoga, for the art purpose, or for the plantations, everything we are providing the hobby rooms. So in some cases, in some villas, in some bungalows, we are providing these rooms also. That is also depends upon the requirement of the clients. Next one is ladies rooms. Most of the Arabian countries you can see this one, correct? The ladies room, they will provide the separate rooms for the ladies, for the chit chat of the ladies room, and for other activities of the ladies they are providing the separate room for the ladies rooms. So these all are the other rooms which we can consider, or which depends upon, which we can say that one depends upon the requirements of the clients, or we can suggest the clients we can do all these particular rooms. Okay, so we have seen this. I just go through in the first slide, so where just see, so we have gone through the different components of the buildings. Clear? We have gone all the different components of the buildings. So these are the components of the buildings which will be there in the residential buildings. Okay, so most of the cases these are the required components, that is living area, serving area, and the sleeping area. Okay, what is living area? In the living area, living room or drawing room will consider, and dining room will be coming. Drawing room and dining room will coming in the living area. In service area, kitchen room, bathrooms is coming in service area, and the storerooms and the staircases are coming in the service area. And in sleeping area, bedrooms and attached bathrooms will be coming in the sleeping area. So these are the important things which we need to consider in any residential building plan. Whatever the size of the rooms, whatever the size of the area will be there. Okay, so whether it is a large area or whether it is a small area, but living area, service area, and sleeping area we need to provide in all the building plans. Rather than that, the garages, the office rooms, the sick room, the comfort room, the guest room, the children's room, study room, puja room, all that things will be depends upon the requirement of the client, depends upon the uh, economical conditions of the client, and depends upon the size of the area also. According to that we need to plan that one. Okay, so if we once we come the size of the area, what you can say that one we can go with the higher stories. You can't go with the more number of higher stories. There is also some bylaws are there. The height of the building is also restricted. How the width and length of the building is restricted, similarly the height of the building is also restricted depending upon the areas. So we need to understand that one, depending upon the areas what is the bylaws for that particular area. According to that only we can go with the width of the building, length of the building, and the height of the building, and at the same time the minimum consideration we need to do while doing the building plannings. And rather than that, whatever the requirements of the clients will be there, whatever the budget will be there, we can go with that one. Okay, so I just go to the last slide. So we have seen the different components of the building in this particular slides. Okay, so last one is the call of action. So I just give one a small work to you. You just go through these questions and prepare these questions, and you just practice these things so that you will get an idea, so that you will get a knowledge while doing the plannings and all. Okay, so I'm going to end this class here only. From the next class onwards, we are seeing that one. We are go again with the AutoCAD software. We'll take one example and we'll start doing the planning. We'll start with the single room plan. Okay, we'll start with the single room plan so that you will get a clear idea. If you go with the Fusida, like directly, if you go with the multi-story buildings and all, you will get confused. We'll go with the small single size plan, and next we'll go for the other plans. Next we can go for the multiple stories and all. We can go that one. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you so much. So I hope all of you will understand these things. All of you get an idea about how to do the residential building plans. Okay, thank you.